Welcome back. This is Jeff Byers, and we're going to continue working on uh, starting to create the edge loops for the face. We're going to start with the eye. I always usually start with the eye. We've got the front and side views all set up, so you'll need to have that finished. So go ahead and watch video 1 for that. And what we're going to do is just going to go ahead and follow how to actually create edge loop. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to need to count how many sides that I need. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So I'm going to go into create and go into polygon primitives, and we're looking for a pipe. So I'm going to go into here, and we need 14 divisions. I'm not too worried about the size or anything like that. Let's go ahead and create. Let's go into perspective and take a look. Alright, so let's go into the poly pipe under channel, and I'm going to select, just kind of highlight the radius and hold down the middle mouse button and kind of get it the size I need. Let's go to the thickness. Okay, something like that would be good, and then the height. So I'm just clicking on it, and I'm holding down the middle mouse button, going back and forth. You can do that in real time. Also, you can just go in here and I have the radius to 0.5, 0.4, and thickness to 0.1. You can always pause the video at any time to stop playback in YouTube. So let's go ahead and rotate this. I'm going to go into the rotate X and set it up at 90 degrees. Go to the top view. I'm going to take off the back. So go into right mouse button, holding down over the object and clicking on face. I'm going to select the faces, and I'm deleting those faces. So I'm going to go to the front view now. Okay, you can see that we've got something nice here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to select it. Now, I think what's happening here is we're accidentally selecting these. So I want you to select both of those. We want to go in here into layers, and we want to select this guy right here. This will actually go in there and create a new layer and assign selected objects. So let's go ahead and make sure those are selected, nothing else. Click on that, a new layer. Double click on the new layer, and we want to call this references. Here we go. Alright, so go ahead and save that, and then we want to turn that to reference. Let's click off of here, and so now we won't accidentally select them. Let's go to the front view again, and what I want to do is I want to hit the 5 key, and I'm going to turn shading on to X-ray mode. I'm going to move this over, and we're going to line it up, and we're going to go ahead and scale that down like that. And let's widen it out like an eye. Scale down some more, and let's move it into place. There we go. So the next thing we're going to do is just going to take these, go to vertex mode, so right mouse click over the object and go to vertex. And what we're going to do is we're just going to match these points all around. Okay? Alright, I'm going to pause the video, but I want you to match the outside to the outside. Okay, so I'm going to pause the video, come back to it after I get done with it. Okay, so I'm back with that, and what I did was I went ahead and moved the vertices so they fit over top of this. Okay, so you just follow that template like what you see here. And it's a little hard to see, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to shading and click on X-ray and turn it off and on. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, wireframe unshaded. So turn off on X-ray so you can see how I did that. Okay, just moving vertices around. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and extrude the outer edge. So I'm going to go back to X-ray, and what we're going to do is we're going to hold down the right mouse button and over the object and click edge. Double click on the edge, and that will go all the way around. Let's go to the perspective here, and you can kind of see what's happening here with this object. Okay. Now, the thing is that this character's eye is curved. So what we want to do is, before we actually start doing anything else, is we need to kind of figure out how we're going to get this all set up. So I want to move the eye to where the eye is. So I'm going to go into object mode first, and let's move that forward, okay, right to the front. And what we'll do is we'll select these vertices in the center, okay, and from the top view we're going to move them back, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the E key and rotate them a little bit like that, just kind of give it a bend like that. And then what I'll do is I'll click off of those, and then I'll just go to the next group, okay. Alright, and what we'll do is we will move a little bit in the the Z, and hit the E key and rotate, so they kind of form, kind of bend a little bit like that. And then what I'll do is I'll get to the end here, alright, and I'll move those back a little bit, and then hit the E key and then rotate those. So you can see that I've got a nice little bend in here in my perspective view. Hit the F key, and you can kind of see the little bend I've got going on there. It's not perfect, but it's a good start. And so from the front, or from the side view, you can kind of see where it's headed. I'm going to hit the Q key for selection. I'm not quite there. I need to go quite a bit more of a bend. I might even have to rotate the eye, this part itself. Let's go to selection, and I'm going to rotate this whole thing like that just a little bit, and we will curve it some more. Okay, so we'll just continue this. I'm going to go to the top view, and I'm even going to go way back over here and rotate it and move it and rotate it and move it like that, just slowly as I go down. I'm not doing any big steps, being really careful. Rotate it and then move it. Here we go. Okay, that might be too much. Let's look at the side. There we go. So that's looking a lot better. So you can see we're kind of getting that look, that rotation. I might even move that back a little bit so you can see what's going on there. There we go. Great. And so from the front view, it's pretty lined up, still pretty good on that. With that, because it's slanted, I'm going to go ahead and move those back where they were. There we go. Just a little bit distorted there. Let's kind of clean those up. Get those back where they were. Okay, so now that looks pretty good. Got the start of the eye. Things will go a little bit quicker now. Alright, so you can see from the side view, and if I turn on shading X-ray, you'll notice that when I extrude the edge loops will go in and then out again for the brow. Okay, so we're going to go ahead, hit the Q key, right click over and go to edge and double click on the edge on the outside. What we're going to do now is we're going to go Control E, and then hit the R key, and what you want to do is you want to select the yellow square with the left mouse button, hold it down, and just move your mouse sideways and it will extrude out, which is pretty cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm just kind of looking at what I have here, not to extrude too much, And again, I'm going to do the same thing with moving points around. Now we're doing the green part. So go to vertex, right click over it, and go to vertex mode, and move those pieces over. I'm going to go ahead and pause this, and while I do this part. Okay, and I got back and after my pause, and I went ahead and got everything set up around the outside following the green edge loop. So to show you what I've got done here, you can see that when I click on that. So what I want to do now is I need to kind of form this into the shape that we're looking for, so I don't have to do a bunch of work afterwards. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back into shading X-ray mode, and I'm just going to have to look at the shape of the eye here from the side view. So you can see that basically this up here goes in. So I'm going to go ahead and select these guys around the front of the eye. Okay, not so much right here, but 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're going to move those back. Just move them back like that. So you can see we get that little cup going right there. That looks good. Okay. Now around the nose part, this tends, I think we're okay with the way it is. Let's go to the side view and take a look. That looks pretty good. We could probably go in here and you can see this part right here. Just move that in just a little bit to flatten that out. And this one I think needs to be moved in. And this one. Okay. So we're just kind of matching that up, and that looks pretty matched up there. That looks pretty good. Alright, so let's kind of take a look at the 3D perspective part of it. That looks really good. So what we're going to do is select this, and we're going to do one more edge loop. Okay. Control E. Okay. Hit the E or R. Hit the R key. That'll be scale, and then in the center, just scale that up. And let's go to the next. We're going to go to the next one. So we're doing the red ring now. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and take this and move these vertices around. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and pause the tape, but we're just moving these vertices around, just kind of following along with the template. Okay, I got that done, and so I've got all these points moved and following the template exactly. Okay, so what we're going to do now is take a look at what we have perspectively. Okay, so we've got the eye going on. Let's take a look at this, and we can see that we need to move these points up and out. Okay, so let's go back into vertex mode, and let's start moving these out like that. Okay, that looks good. And this, because we've got red, green, red, so let's move that back a little bit like that. It's kind of following these areas here. Doesn't have to be perfect, but you can see that it's really helpful to have these colors in here. Kind of tells you where you're at. Okay, so I think we're going to need to go into the perspective view to see where we're at with this. There we go, and that looks pretty good. Actually, let's go ahead and click on that guy right there and see where he is. I think he is out here, to be honest with you. I think he is. He must be, yeah. Let's take a look over here what we got. That looks pretty good. And I'm not sure what's happening here. Let's go to the front view again. Yeah, he's supposed to be where he's at, but I'm wondering if we need to go like that. Let's see what that does. Yeah, that's the ridge of the brow. We'll give it a try. And this guy right here, see where he is at. And he is forward too, I believe. There we go. Alright, let's take a look. That's what we got. So I think that's just the brow area. We can always finesse that a little bit. That looks a little too extreme, so we'll bring it back a little bit. There we go. That looks pretty good. Alright, so that's kind of the brow. Alright, so let's stop here. I would go ahead and save your work, and we'll get you in part 3.